Alex English, the man who is leading the Nuggets in scoring. Point play, and the Lakers lead by 2. Doug Moe looking on, and we told you he'll be serious when game time comes around. That is, if you saw the little interview we had with him after the first game, as Alex English finally gets on the scoreboard.
In front of everybody.
The passing game for Denver. Cooper short, around 47%. Lakers have been doing most of their damage early in the playoffs when they took an 11-0. Try and keep an eye on that one for you and see what develops. As Spriggs muscles inside, English with the rebound. Lakers got back well. The passing game of Denver. Alex English, he has 7. And as Bill pointed out, that's not his shot, but Turner with excellent hustle tracks it down. As the Lakers, again, not communicating well.
They're out of sync right now.
English with a tough off-balance turnaround. Shot game clock at 5. 4. 2. At the buzzer. Count it.
Just playing the way you want to play, just because you had to change the rotation system.
And you saw the scoring leaders, Denver with some good, well-balanced scoring. Almost taken away by the Lakers, and wide open Dan Issel will hit that shot against the Lakers. There's the good ball movement. They'll go into the passing game right off of their breaks. English on the double team.
Now, even if he misses it,
if he has to score, he'll do it, and he feels that it must be done. There's the cuts and the passing offense, and English are the end. Mike McGee, who was 5 for 7 in three-point shooting in the playoffs. Again, inside, Nat scored, pass from English, and the passing game is working. And Mike McGee, who led the Lakers in the first series against the Suns in scoring, has 5 points now. Alex English. Rebound, English. Evans was on the breakaway, but English couldn't get it to him.
Wouldn't have been a good idea anyway.
Cooper was back with Evans. Alex English on the second effort. 17 points for Alex English. The Nuggets again for McGee. Evans rebound. Denver continues to push it up the court. Nat, where he does his most. And Kareem still having difficulty getting his shots to drop. 3-on-1 break for Denver. English against Byron Scott, who does not want to get that 4th foul. So Cooper takes it home on the cut pass from Abdul-Jabbar. 1-point lead for the Nuggets. English, who has just come back into the ballgame, quickly scores inside on a good pass from Nat. 21 points for Alex English. He had 17 at the half. He got 2 in the third period and spent a lot of time on the bench for the Lakers. 9:20 to go now in the ball game. Denver still in the lead as Alex English hits a very difficult shot. Michael Cooper now has 14 points in the ball game, cuts it back to a 9-point lead for the Nuggets. Shays, good pass inside to White, blocked by Worthy, kept alive by English. Alex English, great second and third effort of the hour. James Worthy putting it back in, playing without his goggles, by the way. English quickly takes it back. Johnson knocks it away. English to Nat. There's 4 personals in the game. This thing, good defense. Cooper again from 17. Rebound.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Go School Retro NBA, episode 21, where I'm here to talk about one of the most decorated scorers ever of all time and Denver Nugget great, Alex Mr. Smooth English. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys don't know Alex English, I suggest you stay tuned, and you're going to leave out of here with the wealth of knowledge of what this man did on and off the court. This guy was a straight bucket getter, shooting efficiency, could get a bucket at any time, had phenomenal inside the paint, and just a smooth touch. Many nights he took over games for Denver. Played alongside greats Dan Issel, Fat Lever, and a multitude of other, let's not forget a player I touched on last time, David Skywalker Thompson. So I'm paying homage to a lot of Denver Nuggets, and this man right here was no exception because he broke many records throughout his career, especially with his 10-year run with Denver. Alex English was born in Columbia, South Carolina, where he would star in Dreher High School, where his number 22 was retired in January of 2020 and is sitting in the rafters right now. So it goes to tell you, his early career, he was already getting his number retired. This is all to show you how special of a player Mr. Alex English was. He would go on to be recruited by the South Carolina Gamecocks, where he would play all 4 years. And let me tell you something. This man was an elite wing. He could get busy in the paint. He could shoot the mid-range off the dribble, rebound, pass, back to the basket. And I think he was an underrated passer, to be honest with you. But he was prototypical, super efficient scorer. It was very hard to stop Mr. Alex English because he was so quick, so versatile. And when I talk about he was an elite wing, he was an elite wing. He was actually the school's first historic player, sports player. Being the first star in school history in South Carolina, he was breaking through barriers. He would score 1,972 points and third in rebounding with 1,000 career rebounds. So it goes to show you he did both. He was a bruiser on the boards and he was a prototypical and efficient scorer. He was so good that he was selected into 2 independent All-American teams in 1975 and 96. And he also shot better than 50% on all his field goal attempts. Not only was he a great basketball player on the court, but off the court, he took a passion to art, sculpture, and literature and graduated with an English degree in 1976 through South Carolina. So it goes to tell you that not only was he an intelligent basketball player on the court, but he was also very wise and intelligent off the court and had a lot of passions and things he loved to do, which I admire because I'm the same way. So when I see players like that, especially top 75 players like Alex English, taking passions off the court, I got to tip my hat to him. He will go on to be drafted in the 1976 draft class with the Milwaukee Bucks. And that draft class was very good. You're talking about John Lucas, Adrian Dantley, Robert Parrish, and a slew of other greats that were in that draft. And he would turn out to be an elite second-round pick as his career and journey carried on. But his road to the NBA wasn't an easy one. He was playing behind Brian Winters, Bob Danridge, who were elite wings. And also Junior Bridgman wasn't no slouch either. And that's another guy I'm going to do a tribute for because that goes to show you how deep those Bucks teams were. And for Alex English to be in that company, it shows you all the hard work he had to do to prove to Don Nelson that he was worthy of more minutes and actually getting entrusted into starting roles. His breakthrough would come 2 years later in the NBA playoffs, where he averaged 13.8 points per game coming off the bench. And he showed a lot of promise, and Don Nelson took heed to him, and he showed him that he was worthy of more playing time. He was the third team's highest scorer. So this goes to show you that coming off the bench and being the team's best third scorer shows you all the work that he put in, because he was a big reason why they got past the Suns in the first round. Eventually their run would end because they would lose. They would take the Nuggets, a very good Nuggets team, 7 games, but they would be eliminated. And that would be the end of his run with the Milwaukee Bucks. And he would join his next chapter. At the beginning of that 1978 season, he was signed with the rebuilding team, the Indiana Pacers, because he became very frustrated because Mr. English felt like he was worthy of more minutes and was worthy of a starter's role. And let me tell you something, he made the most of that opportunity playing for the Indiana Pacers. He would go on to average 16 points per game. The Pacers team wasn't a good team, but it showed the NBA and it put the NBA on notice how good and how efficient of a scorer Alex English was. And he would prove that because when he would take his career off and enter into his new chapter, this is where everything starts going in the right direction. Midway through the 1980 season, Alex English would be traded to the Denver Nuggets, where he would begin a phenomenal stretch of 10 years where he would set records, make a multitude of all-star teams and all-NBA teams. He was traded for another great that I'm going to do an episode on, George McGinnis, former ABA and NBA legend. While he was coming off an all-star season, he was basically a shell of himself. He didn't look like the George McGinnis of old, and he would be on a decline. So they decided to make the move and go younger with Alex English, and this would turn the fortunes of the Denver Nuggets around for many years to come. In his first year, English took no shorts. He averaged 23.8 points per game and will go on to be a star for the Denver Nuggets. Following season, 1981-82, he would average 25.8 points per game en route to his first All-Star team. And guess what? He made the All-NBA second team. So if you look at year by year, he just continues to improve and get better. And this goes to show you the hard work ethic that Mr. Alex English put through in the basketball court, because he was slowly but surely becoming a Denver Nugget legend and putting his name in between a lot of history. Following season, 1982-83, he would go on to win the scoring title, averaging 28.4 points per game, while his phenomenal teammate Kiki Vandeweghe, who I'll be doing a tribute for soon, averaged 26.7. So as English took home the scoring title, this goes to show you the repertoire and the hard work that he put in, because he was just a walking bucket, hard to contain. You can ask Michael Jordan, you can ask a slew of other guys, Adrian Danley, all these guys that had to guard him throughout the years. He was one of the toughest elite wings to guard. Following season, he was still be on that top scoring list. He finished fourth in the 83 and 84 season. In the 84-85 season, he would raise the scoring average to 27.9 points per game. And he will pick up a lot of the slack left by his phenomenal teammate, Kiki Vandeweghe, because he departed the team. And let me tell you something, he really took that on his shoulders and did what he had to do and put the team on his back. Denver will go on to win the division and secure a second seed in the Western Conference in 1985. English will go on to average in the playoffs 30.2 points per game as they eliminated San Antonio and Utah. And they will go on to face the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, where they will fall in 5 games. And let me tell you something, I remember that series very vividly. And Alex English was taking no shorts. He was bodying up James Worthy and everybody that tried to guard him, because you got to remember those Lakers teams were good. They had Magic, they had Kareem, they still had Silk, they had Kurt Rambis, they had a lot of rugged wings, a lot of rugged fours. They had Michael Cooper, and they just had a slew of other guys that could just get you a bucket. And they also had a very young and the neophyte Byron Scott. But also the Nuggets had Fat Lever, they had Dan Issel, they had David Skywalker Thompson, and then none other than all-time great Mr. Top 75 Alex English. 30.2 points per game. This goes to show you that this guy wanted to take it all. Unfortunately, bad timing. He would get a thumb injury in Game 4 against the Lakers, who eventually won the title. And he would have to sit out the rest of the series. And I feel like, just like what Mr. English said in an interview, he will go on to say that if he didn't suffer that thumb injury, that he feels like that they would have had a better chance of beating the Lakers. And I agree, because they pushed teams to the limit. And I'm talking about they had so many prolific scorers that's a very high possibility. And I totally agree with Mr. English on that. The following season, 1985-86, he would finish third in scoring behind Dominique Wilkins and Adrian Dantley. So you're talking about 3 all-time greats that were going at it for a scoring title. And it just goes to show you that this guy was just phenomenal, man. I mean, I feel like he doesn't get enough talked about enough, but I feel like, him always being in that conversation with the scoring title and actually taking one home. On my personal list, I have him higher than 75. I actually put him at number 62. Because I just love the way he played the game. I love the heart, the energy, the inside-outside game, the rebounding and assisting. I just feel like he was just an elite wing, and one of the best elite wings ever to grace the hardwood, in my opinion. 1986 All-Star game, he would go on to set a career-high 16 points while coming off the bench on 8 of 12 shooting. And I remember that All-Star game because I still watch it to this day. I watch a lot of the old-school All-Star games. And let me tell you something, man. That guy came off the bench and he was instant offense, man. And this is back then where guys really, not like today's All-Star game where the players barely try. It's become more of like a show. But, back then these guys played it like it was a real game. I mean, it was more fun to watch back then than what it is now. The 1986 season, he led the Denver Nuggets past the Portland Trail Blazers, where they will go on to face the Houston Rockets. And that was a fun series to watch, man. I advise you guys to watch that, because that was a very great series to watch. I mean, English was just a nonstop bucket, man, in that series. And I remember it because I still watch it to this day. They will go on to lose in 6 games to a tough Rockets team. But English was just doing what he had to do and gave it his all. He would go on to average 29 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in that Western Conference semifinals to eventual Western Conference champion Houston Rockets. Alex English will go on to tie his career high in that closeout game where they got eliminated 126-122 to the Rockets. He ended up putting up 42 points. So the man left it all on the court, and you just got to tip your hat to them. Unfortunately, they came up short that year. 1988, he will take down the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award for his community service efforts. So it goes to show you he was the man of the people off the court as well. And I got to respect Mr. Alex English for that, because I love people that do for their community, because I do so myself. So when I see athletes taking care of their community and helping out, I got to tip my hat to them. On March 10th, 1989, Alex English will score 51 points on no three-point attempts. So this goes to show you he was getting busy in the paint and inside that arc, hitting that jump shot, which is phenomenal for someone to do that without a three-point shot. It's just crazy. It's insane, man. Unfortunately, it was a loss, 131-130 to the Miami Heat. The following year, 1989 and 1990, Alex English averaged 17.9 points per game, and his numbers would drop very steadily. And unfortunately, the Nuggets would let him go because he wasn't able to keep up with his high level of play during that season. And he eventually became a free agent. He will go on to sign in 1991 with the Dallas Mavericks, where he would only average 10 points per game. And coming off the bench, again, eventually, after that season, he would play his final NBA game in 1991 with the Dallas Mavericks. The 1991 and 92 season, he was signed with Basket Napoli overseas, where he would play his final journey in basketball, and he would officially retire from the game because no other team gave him a chance after that. So he took his talents overseas, and it was a phenomenal career. It sucks the way it ended, but man, he put himself in the Naismith Hall of Fame for a reason. He will go on to hold records for the Denver Nuggets in assists, points, minutes, and games played. And he's actually the all-time points per game scoring leader in Denver Nugget history. And he still holds the team record in points with 21,645 points. That's insane, man. That goes to show you why he's enshrined in the Naismith Hall of Fame and why he is a top 75 NBA player, because probably one of the best wings that ever played the game and one of the best players in Denver Nugget history. His number 2 is in the rafters in Denver Nuggets. So that shows you that what type of player he was, because for them to honor his jersey goes to show you all the work he put in. And just being as for me to see him now and see videos of him and watch him and hear people talk about him, that's somebody I would have enjoyed watching in person, because he was just a great basketball player, man. And I gotta tip my hat to that man. That man is Mr. Elite Wing. That's his name. A lot of people don't notice, as of 2019, up until 2019, he's on the all-time NBA scoring list. That's insane, man. And you know how many great scorers that touches hardwood. For that man to be number 19 on that list is a testament to all the hard work that Mr. Alex English, Mr. Smooth, Mr. Efficient put into the game of the NBA. He was also an 8-time All-Star and also made All-NBA second team 3 times. So that goes to tell you, man, this guy is on every record book that you can look at, man. He's on there, and there's no way that you can tap dance around it and not appreciate Mr. Alex English's game. Denver Nuggets made the playoffs 9 times in his tenure and won 2 Midwest titles. So that goes to show you the dominance that Alex English had the Nuggets on with the upper echelon in the Western Conference, because the Western Conference back in the 80s was no slouch. And he's known as one of the best scorers of the 1980s. That goes to show you how great Alex English was. He would retire from the NBA with career average of 21.5 points per game and 5.5 rebounds per game. A lot of people don't know this too. He was the first player to score 2,000 points in 8 consecutive seasons. Do you know how insane that is, man, for a wing, an elite wing like him, to every year to do 8 consecutive seasons to put up 2,000 points? Yo, that's insane, man. That goes to show you how much of a bucket getter that Alex English was. Not only that, he was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1997. Just a testament to all the hard work that he came from, man. Just a humble kid from South Carolina who worked his way through the NBA, had to go through a lot, but actually to make the Naismith Hall of Fame, I tip my hat to you, Mr. English, man, because you were an all-time great wing, man. Also, to commemorate the 75 greatest players, the Athletic ranked Mr. English number 71 on the all-time great list. So it goes to show you, man, that this guy is just knocking down accolades left and right. And it just shows you, man, how great of a ball player he was, man. I mean, I'm having joy talking about it, And just, I know his family, his friends are proud, his kids, and just, you know, for his name to be recognized globally and, you know, in the US, it just shows you, man, that this man is an all-time great, man, for a reason. Not only would he knock down accolades, he would get into coaching career in the NBA Developmental League in 2001, 2002. He was a coach of the North Charleston Low Gators, and actually took them to, they actually had the best record, but they ended up losing in the title game. And if you guys don't know, the NBA Developmental League now is called the G League. That was basically what the G League is now. Also, in the 2002 and 2003 season, he would join the assistant coaching staff of the Atlanta Hawks. The following year, he was hired as an assistant for the Philadelphia 76ers. In 2004, he would join the Toronto Raptors coaching staff, where he was in charge of player personnel development, where he would spend the next 7 years. In 2013, he would be an assistant for the Sacramento Kings coaching staff as well. And November 11, 2014, he was hired by the SEC Network as a color analysis. So not only was he a mastermind at playing the game, but he was a mastermind of talking about it, taking care of the players. I mean, what didn't Mr. Alex English accomplish, man? I mean, this guy is a staple for just following your dreams and just being a man of the people on and off the court. And you could tell just a testament of how much he loved the game and how much he loved playing it and loved talking about it. Also was part of the Sports Envoy program with Candace Owens, where they worked with the state and they would travel all over the world to Chile, Korea, and underprivileged communities, and they would help out with the Democratic Party, and they would actually spread the game and teach the game to them globally. So it goes to show you that he was expanding the game globally, probably one of the first ambassadors of it, because to go out there and help the people, you know, just not only with the game, but just with stuff in the community, it goes to show you that Alex English was the man of the people, and I appreciate him so much for that. And just shows that he has a heart of gold, man. And I got to tip my hat to Mr. Alex English for that. He's also a part of the Basketball Without Borders program, and he spreads the game globally. As an ambassador for the NBA, teaching the programs and just teaching them about the game. Gotta love that man for that, man. And just like I hold that dear to my heart, because I like players that do these type of things, because it shows that, you know, they're there for the people and they're out there helping people left and right, man. And it's like I gotta congratulate him for that, man. I mean, he's a phenomenal person, man. English and his wife Vanessa owned Wendy's franchises, man. So it goes to show you, man, as businessman, man of the people, expanded the game, all-time great. I mean, what can this man not do? He does everything. Not only does he do that, he owns a Green Smart company where they actually sell hemp-based products, and he founded that. So it goes to show you he's a shrewd businessman. And he's taking care of people and making products that help people, and the benefits that hemp has for people, I know because I use it. And it just it goes to show you just what type of person he is, man. And I love that. Not only does he do that, he's actually an actor, man. He was featured in Eddie, Amazing Grace, and Chuck. And it just to show you, man, like he just knows how to do everything. I mean, like this guy's like the jack of all trades, Alex English, man. He's just a great person, man. Like I got a lot of respect for him, man. The more I learn about him, and the more I speak about him, the more like I have an enjoyment of just you know, learning different things about him, man. He's a great person, man. And he was actually featured in a movie called Lumira, which is directed by his son Alex Jr., who's a movie film producer, and he basically had his pops on there and gave him a shot in the acting, man. Executive producer of that movie. If you guys don't see it, watch it. I advise you. It's pretty dope, man. It goes to show you he passed on those genes to his children. So hats off to him, man. Beautiful family. And this is what I do this for. I do this to shine light on everything about your father. And I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm doing this for you guys, just for my love of the game. So this is going to wrap up Go School Retro, NBA, episode 21. Alex, Mr. Efficient, English. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, Go School Retro is available on YouTube. You can get me on there, Ari Hoops 84, Go School Retro NBA. Follow me on Twitter, Ari Hoops at 84. And Go School Retro is available on Spotify. Thank you all for tuning in, for listening to the NBA Great Top 75, Alex English, Mr. Efficient. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode. One love.